Yeah, I saw him. I ain't putting no commie gear on though.
Flag on that, bro. How much they pay you to call that flag? Because you just know that was shit.
Send y'all Instagram posts and all that. You know what I mean?
Really?
Add Annie up.
That's what we do.
All right, live now. What's the Line podcast, week 9. I'm about to one more link. How y'all feeling, man?
Fired up.
Fired up. The Forestville Falcons right there, man. I remember a few days. Yup. All right.
Oh, shit. Right.
Let's get it. We're live. What's the Line podcast, week 9. The boys, Annie Up Consulting, Core 4 back.
Hey, you can hear this background music or no?
No.
All right,
No,
bet.
I cannot.
Bet. Okay, a little mic, a little compressor. Yeah. Fucking with it, man.
Got that hard drive, baby. It's on the way. It should be here this weekend. You know what I mean? Needs that.
Yeah, found out laptop died. Don't be here tomorrow though. They had to replace the whole battery, man. It's pain.
Look at you. All right. I'm
Hey.
tweeting it out, but yeah. Let's get into it. Let me pull up these notes. This is wrong week. We're live. What's the Line podcast, week 9. Pod notes pulled up. All right, let's start it off. And we're back. Annie Up Consulting presents What's the Line podcast, week 9. I'm your host, the meticulous Mark P. Got our guys in the building, the Core 4. Start with the People's Champ, our friend from Rome. How you feeling this week, Rome?
Ready to go. Week 9, halfway point. Last week, we kind of fell short with the Lions, but came home with the Saints. So, just trying to look to get some consistency here this week. Halfway point.
Definitely the halfway point. You had the Patriots best bet, though, last week, officially on the pod. So,
yeah, Patriots, Saints, but we did both like those Lions. So I'm not even gonna act like I didn't have a loser on the board this past week. But yeah, pretty good week. But I need one of those clean sweeps. So big week this week.
I feel that. I feel like I got a prop best bet as well this week. So I'm gonna give out on this here podcast. What's the Line podcast, week 9. Soundman back again. Missed you last week. What happened, buddy?
Well, tech the issues, man. MacBooks want to die on me, but as one of my favorite quotes from this podcast, ready to go. Week 9.
Ready to go.
I actually loved last week. I actually hated the Lions pick from you guys, but we're on to a new week, and I hate this week. But let's get into it, man. I'm ready to ride, man.
That's fair though. I feel like you would have still betted at 4 though, and they didn't. The Dolphins didn't cover at 4.
They covered what they needed to cover, though. So
Technically, the closing line, they pushed. But all right. Papa Keys with us. Got the B-Day coming up, Papa Keys. Big one.
Hell yeah. Gotta talk to you about the show. May or may not be here next week. You never know for the listeners. But I'm feeling good. I feel like I swept last week in terms of the best bets and the teasers. So, trying to knock it out of the park again.
No doubt. That Panthers play was sharp. I told y'all, Keith's been getting sharp week by week. I don't know if y'all, I don't know if y'all peeping what's going on.
Slow grind.
You know what I mean? Getting better with age. All right, we're going to start this off, gentlemen.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's start in Atlanta then, Rome. Chargers, -3 at the Falcons. Total of 49.5. Got this Falcons team. What are they, 6-2 against the spread this year?
Yeah, last week was their second loss against the spread.
Yeah, didn't cover last week. Chargers off the bye. Chargers 11-13-1 against the spread, non-division games under Justin Herbert. Talk to me, Rome. How you feel about this game?
I got something for the total here as it sits at 49.5. I just know that's usually an under number. But like I said, it's Thursday, so we'll see where this line closes. Going back to the Falcons, they still will not pass the ball. So I really don't know what Arthur Smith is doing. I mean, I guess he's trying to establish culture in the run game, but they scored 37 points last week, right? But I don't know, man. I just can't get behind this Falcons offense. And then, you throw in the fact this is the second week in a row here that they have not covered the spread at home here this past week. I think it's real indicative of who this Falcons team is or who the books think they are. Falcons get a win this past weekend, as ugly as it was. They get the win, no cover, and then they come back 7 days later, same venue at home, catching 3. So I think that story there is something to pay attention to, specifically with the Chargers coming off that unimpressive loss on the road at home against Seattle, where Seattle really just did whatever they wanted to do at SoFi. So I think this is, a focused Chargers team and a team of the Falcons that, have somewhat of a deceiving ATS record at 6-2. I think there'll be continued regression there. So if I had to lay it here, it would be a lean with the Chargers, and it would also be a lean on the under. 49.5, just like I said, it's one of those numbers I've just noticed is usually an under number. So it'd be under for me and a lean to the Chargers, but this is not one of my best bets this week.
All right, Papa Keys, you got any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I tend to, when I think about the game overall, agree with a lot of what Rome said. At the end of the day, it's a lean with the Chargers for me. But one thing he talked about, you said you really like the under here, Rome. One thing I do notice when I was looking at the game is these two defenses are terrible when you think about what the other offense is going to try to do coming into this game.
Yeah, Chargers terrible against the run.
Yeah, we were having you on Geno last week, but honestly, a lot of why I liked him last week is because he was going to go against this Falcons defense. It was a lot of spin in terms towards Geno because
Chargers defense.
Yeah, I thought that was entertaining. But honestly, both of these defenses are really banged up. When you think about what the Chargers are going to do, they're going to try to come out and pass the ball. The Falcons very banged up on the outside. They literally let my guy PJ. I just called him Geno Smith mad times. They let my guy PJ go crazy on him.
That's who you were talking about. You were talking about PJ Walker, but you said Geno. So gotcha.
Yeah, but the last time we saw this Chargers defense, we did see not necessarily Geno Smith, but the Seahawks were able to run all over them. And you just talked about how the Falcons are going to do everything but run over them. So when I initially saw the game, I was loving the Chargers here, but honestly, looking at it, it's just a like for me because I'm afraid of, the Falcons, the team that's going to try to run the ball, may be able to control the clock a little more. It might be a situation where you're not actually seeing Justin Herbert on the field enough to comfortably cover that 3 on the road. So it's just a like for me. But yeah, I'm afraid for both of these defenses going into this game. I can see it going over just by the fact that I don't think they can stop what the other teams are going to try to do.
Yeah, and I think, obviously we look into these numbers and the splits and the cash splits on these games as opposed to just handicapping what we see. And, right now, not seeing anything that kind of says either way, this is definitely a fade spot on the total. This is just me talking on what numbers I've seen and what I'm accustomed to seeing on these totals. But how about this? 87% of the cash is on the over right now at DraftKings at 49.5. That is the largest margin of money bet on a total right now for the week. So I think, that's indicative of what the public thinks. And like I said, I love going against money. So 87% of the money on the over Thursday. I already said the under before I even saw these cash splits. So just more of a reason for me to kind of lean towards the under in this one. And the more we kind of talk through this, that might be one of the plays that I end up playing here. So, my favorite angle on this is not the Chargers. It's not the side. It's not Atlanta. It's the under, 49.5.
All right, Soundman, talk to me. How you feel about this game? The fans fan.
I really don't have too much for this game, man. Solely because I'm tired of the Chargers personally. I just feel like they should be better than what they are. I feel like they're not. I mean, sitting right here, sitting here 4-3. They should be better than that. I mean, the roster's been stacked. Obviously, big cluster injuries everywhere. But I mean, they should be better than that. And here you go against these Falcons that have been covering these games. As we said, they haven't covered the last 2. They're at home. I don't have anything for this game. I really won't be caring for this game. I can see like the Chargers be up and then the Falcons do their storming back type of thing. And then next thing you know, they're winning by 3. So I really have nothing for it. I don't want either side. I'm not going to lie, though, with that over-under, I like the over as well. I'm sorry to go against you, Rome, here. No time for no chicken sandwiches early in the damn show. No time for that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, feels like a game. Like you just said, they just put up 37. This feels like a game Herbert gets on track. I've watched this guy a lot, fantasy quarterback, so I know exactly what he's doing. He's not doing too much out there. I think he can get on track here against the worst ranked passing defense in the league. And then, Falcons have been scoring points. It can go over to me. So I kind of like the over here, but I don't got nothing for the game. Personally.
Yeah. Rome, you might want to make that a big play because I was leaning towards the over as well. I'm not betting that, but so the under.
Good. I'm glad. This is good news to my ears. Y'all leaning towards the over, and I like the under. That's what I like to hear. So
that definitely looks like a safe play. As you should go opposite of my total plays. P totals are a thing, not my thing. But I got a like on the Falcons here, plus the 3 points at home. What is it? Rise up, baby, rise up. Possible best bet for me, but I think the Falcons have some value here, considering that they can run the ball down this Chargers. Throw their opponents' rushing yards per game is 27th right now for the Chargers, giving up over 135 rushing yards per game. The Falcons are going to benefit from that. They want to run the ball. Cordell Patterson returning. So this is a possible best bet for me right now. I'm not A-Town stumping today, but a lot. If I probably about a night, I might be A-Town stumping. So I got a like on the Falcons at this spot, but I think they can get the outright win as well. And I don't know about these Chargers right now. So if you keep them off the field, though, I think the Falcons can do a lot of damage running the ball. There is value on that under Rome. I think that's correlated there. Falcons and the under. I think that is correlated. All right. Next couple games on the board. We got a couple road teams laying points. Dolphins laying 4.5 on the road at the Bears. Packers laying 3.5 on the road at the Lions. Sound, man, who you laying the points with?
Give me the Fins, man. I'm riding with the Fins. I rode with them last week. I like them better this week. I like the Fins with the points, and I also like the Lions this week as well. But if you're telling me, gonna head in this situation, I like the Fins. The Bears, they stink. Just plain and simple. It was fun. They put up some points last week against Dallas. It was fun. A barn burner, and then it just got ugly late. The Fins just got Bradley Chubb, Jeff Wilson in here to their already potent offense and their, defense that needs some help against these Bears in Soldier Field. I mean, I just see it being another, Ty Hill and Waddle game, Gesicki as well. I feel like it's going to be another one of these barn burner type of blowout type of games. So out of the two, I like the Dolphins here to cover about this 4.5. I think it's like a touchdown-ish type of game, but I do like the Lions as well to cover this 3.5 or plus 3.5, shall I say? So, Dolphins up.
Yeah. How I feel about that 4.5 on a roll. But talk to me, Ron. Which one would you rather lay with? Dolphins laying 4.5, Packers laying 3.5 on the road.
Best bet. Detroit Lions plus 3.5 at home again this week. This is not the Week 8 pod. You are listening to the right pod. This is Week 9. This is the same line that the Lions were catching last week at home. This week they cover. I've done it already this year, and I've done it on this pod where I've said you can't, as a bettor, and when you're, a lot of our listeners are recreational bettors, and when you're a recreational bettor, you have these superstitions. I have them as a pro bettor. These superstitions where I can't touch this team, I can't do this, that, and third. But you can't not bet on a team that you lost on the week prior. That should not be a part of your handicap. That is a personal thing that happened to you. The line is the line. It had nothing to do with your bet last week. So I lost on the Lions last week. And I also have no problem coming right back this week, betting on the Lions. And the reason why I like the Lions is, it's the same exact line. Okay, they caught 3.5 last week at home. We watched the game. Lions were up for the majority of that game. They had control of that game. And Dolphins, big plays, explosiveness. They get out of there with the dub and the cover, right? Here we go. Another week, 3.5 Lions at home. I'm playing it already tonight here at Thursday night at -105. And so, it just goes back to my point. I have no problem backing teams that I've lost on previously. I did it with the Commanders this year, and I'm doing it again here with the Lions. So Lions, they've gone some time without covering the spread. I know we talk about Dan Campbell, covers and this, that, and the third, but let's look at it. The Lions have not covered. They didn't cover the Cowboys game. That was 2 weeks ago. They didn't cover this past week at home, 3.5. Week prior to that, they don't cover against New England.
Right. They definitely been struggling.
Yep. So they've been struggling, but somehow, some way, they're still catching 3.5. And, I think people are looking at this Packers team and saying, okay, it's the Packers, bro. Aaron Rodgers is at least going to be able to get it together against these Lions. I'm not so sure he is. Why is that? We've seen nothing from this Aaron Rodgers-led offense in Green Bay that suggests that they are going to be able to turn the corner this week. They've scored, the most points they've scored in the past month is 22 points. So I know how we hold, Aaron Rodgers at this high regard, multiple-time MVP winner. I think he won it last year.
Last two,
right? So last two MVPs, and his offense is averaging 22 points per in the past month. So that's obviously not MVP numbers. I don't know how much of a sample size anyone else needs to see, but this is not the same Packers team. They're not physical. They don't have weapons on the outside. No one takes accountability on the offensive line or at the quarterback position. This is a bad Packers team. And how about this? It's a bad Lions team. So who am I going to take? The home team with the points, catching 3.5 again this week. Best bet, Lions, 3.5.
All right, I definitely side with you on that. I don't want to lay it with either team, but I would guess I would rather with the Dolphins. But that 4.5 number, I would be totally off it. But yeah, the Lions are definitely a great position here. The Lions they pushed last week. The closing line was 4 on Sunday. Obviously, it didn't come through. 3.5.
I got 3.5.
But yeah, just as far as I'm, updating the pod notes, they pushed last week. But yeah, one of the things that kind of hurt them was the such explosive players, the Tyreek Hills, the Jalen Waddles, who had big days. But that's what Green Bay struggles with. They don't have these explosive receivers. This is not the same offense. And I think that the fact that they probably could run the ball here, there's a lot of ego involved with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to want to get his touchdowns, things of that nature. He's going to want to get his yards. So I definitely would like to fade them here, plus 3.5. I definitely think it's a good spot. And in division, Dan Campbell 5-2 against the spread. So we'll see how he does in this one. Keith, who would you rather lay it here with the Packers laying 3.5 or the Dolphins laying 4.5 on the road?
When you ask me like that, officially it has to be the Packers. But honestly, that was pretty close to a stay away from me. I'm gonna more so talk about. Rome gave some pretty good reasons why you should probably bet with the Lions. I didn't really think too much about that game because I am part of those people that's like, oh, I'm not betting with the Lions. And then I thought about it and I was like, oh, I'm not betting with the Packers. So just to stay with me until I see something. But more so the fact that I think I kind of love the Bears in this spot at home, catching the 4.5 against the Dolphins. This is a Bears team to me that, when I'm just, eye test looking at, what I would like to see this team do to get on track. The last couple of weeks, they seem to have been doing that. Obviously, everybody knows they're passing the ball a little bit more. Giving Fields actually like a chance as opposed to like only throwing the ball 7 times a game. They're actually playing their more efficient runner, Khalil Herbert, more as opposed to sticking to David Montgomery being like a workhorse, which is like, I don't know when they thought that was a good idea, but they tried it from at this point many years, like 2 or 3. But anyway, I'm going to go with the Bears here. This Dolphins team is the second game on the road in the Midwest. Not sure if they went back home or not. Honestly, it might help my case even more if they went back to Florida. I'm expecting them to stay in the Midwest region. I don't have the stats off the top of my head, but Tua is not a guy that I'm looking at saying that his game or even the Dolphins, how they play or how they play well is going to translate well into traveling into Chicago. So give me the Bears here against this Dolphins team who allows teams to run on them, something that obviously they want to do first, but also lets teams pass a little bit. Xavier Howard, I know he's like traditionally a lockdown corner, and he's been playing okay this year, but he has been giving up some touchdowns. Not that I'm expecting Fields to go out here and throw a lot, but It's a like for me. It's a like for me with the Bears. Just because I'm definitely staying away from that Lions Packers game.
Yeah, and the one thing that I have on that Bears game is the total. I mean, I was on the Bears total last week against the Cowboys, 42.5. That game went over in the first half. I don't think it's the same type of game this week. So I don't want people to get kind of, caught up in the recency bias of the Bears being able to score points 1 week. I think the Bears offense is majority of what we've seen all year, which is not good. And then, 45.5, it's pretty low for a Dolphins team, that went up to Detroit and was able to score, what was that, north of 30 points or something like that. So it's just interesting that this total is what it is. And these two teams are coming off, pretty high scoring games. So I would be hesitant to play the over here. Just one of my thoughts on this game.
Bears, play devil's advocate. The Bears last two games against the Patriots and the Cowboys, two defenses that we've been touting on this, on this podcast.
Yeah.
33 points and 29 points. So,
Yeah.
All right, that's respect. Anybody got anything for the Bills Jets? Bills laying 11.5, total 46.
No, just want to reiterate that Zach Wilson is bad and I was wrong about him.
All right, that's fair. Look at Rome, honest Rome. Look at that, progressive, full circle. All right, couple teams laying some points at home. We got the Bengals laying 7 against my little Carolina Panthers. Shout out PJ Walker, and then we got the Patriots laying 5 against the Colts. Total of 40 in that Patriots game, 42.5 in that Bengals game. Let me give some stats real quick. Oh, Bengals 19-14-1 against the spread after a loss under head coach Zach Taylor. I mean, what do you guys think about these two? Who would you rather catch the points with as the dog?
I'd rather catch it with the Colts, just because the Colts and the Patriots are very similar. They're not good, and I don't see any game where the Patriots have really they go those Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Bill Belichick does know what he's doing. Yeah, you beat the Lions at home by 29. Great. You lose at home the next week against the Bears. What happened? You go up to you go up to New York and you beat them. Well, okay, you haven't lost to them since 2015. So I haven't seen anything from the Patriots that says, yeah, you're 5.5 points better than a Colts team. And then how about this? The Colts are fighting for their lives, right? They got a new quarterback in Sam Ehlinger. So you get that, you get that gutsy, giving all that you got. You don't got Matt Ryan standing back there just waiting to get sacked. So I'll give up an interception or two to have a 3rd and 7 get converted on the ground from a scrambling young quarterback that's trying to, make his point. I'll do that because I know I got 5.5 points at home. So I haven't seen anything from this Patriots team that says, yeah, I'll lay 5.5 with them on the road. And then conversely, in terms of the Panthers,
at home. The Patriots at home.
Okay, laying 5.5 at home.
They're laying 5 at home.
5. Okay, so what's that? 3.5 on the neutral.
I think Gillette has it true. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that kind of changes the whole thing for me. 5.5 5 at home is kind of different.
You lucky. I was ready to. I was like, come on, man. I've been on my Bill Belichick shit this year, man. I was ready to come in.
Yeah, that does change it for me. The 5 at home as opposed to the road, that does change it for me. I still lean Colts. I'm still gonna have to lean Colts here.
Yeah, I'm really undecided right now. I think I would definitely rather catch it with the Colts plus the 5. But I mean, I think the Bengals, they make such good second half adjustments. And last week they did not. So I think that they're maybe in a good bounce back spot.
It's just when you bet so many of these games and you bet certain sides. Like I was all over the Browns this past Monday. So it's like whatever the Bengals did, it didn't bother me. It's just like it is what it is. I expected them not to win that game. So
right,
it is what it is, right? But to come back after that embarrassing loss on the road in division, in state, and then lay 7 at home against a team that's covered two games consecutively, I'd be more inclined to lay with the Bengals and catch it the third week in a row with a Panthers team that's. I mean, they just keep catching points. They caught 13 at home against the Bucs. They catch 4 in Atlanta. Now they're catching 7 in Cincy. You just gonna keep covering? I don't know. I don't think they have it in them to go on the road and do that. Specifically, with the Bengals offense. I mean, the Bengals offense can score at will. Panthers offense. I mean, let's be real. PJ was Yeah, okay. He had 111 yards in the third quarter pass. So I get it. He threw for 200 in the second half, ended up with over 300 yards. Great. And they went over in the overtime too. So adding in those yards, right? I just don't see it happening for a third week in a row for the Panthers, specifically on the road here. So I'd be more inclined to lay it there with the Bengals and catch it with the Colts.
Yeah, I definitely think, Rome, you made some good points. I think it'd probably be the time now to fade the Panthers. While I like the defense, I just think that it's going to be tough to keep up. But I mean, it's fair. The PJ, like, this probably is the time to like hop off the train. But Keith, who would you rather catch the points with, Colts or the Panthers?
By default, I would rather catch it with the Panthers. I will start by saying that it's just a lean for me because I feel like it opened up, but like the look ahead was like 9, and now it's all the way down to 7. It's no good there. I don't like that. At 9, I probably would have liked it. Like, let's go, baby.
That's it right there. That's it right there. We kind of just talked through this game right here.
Mm-hmm.
Opening line was 9. That's the line. Let's just say game is tomorrow. Game open at 9. Game line is 9, right? So now let's just say line is 9. We get it. It's 7 now, but let's just say it's what it is when it opened. It opened at 9. So this line opened at 9 after this team covered 2 weeks in a row, beat the, Bucks, and we know the Bucks aren't the Bucks anymore, but beat the Bucks outright as 13-point dogs. And then go into a game in division again and cover on the road in overtime by 4. And the odds were against them last week, and the fact that teams that win outright as double-digit dogs at home, which the Panthers were against the Bucks, and win outright the next week, are 17-36 ATS. And they proved that wrong. They proved that wrong last week. So, I just are they going to keep proving all of these lines wrong?
All right, Ron. I think you made your point. I think you made your point, my guy.
So it's the Bengals. It's the Bengals. And I know we get scared of laying 7 because 7 is such a key number. It's like, damn, what do we do with 7? I'll lay it right here with 7.
For me personally, I will see if it go all. If y'all really gonna let it go all the way down, excuse me, to like 6.5, then I probably like it with the Bengals. But right now, it's just like slightly lean with the Panthers, just if I have to like write something down because like I'm riding the PJ train. But honestly, it's a love with the Patriots for me, and I can keep it short and sweet because Bill Belichick is one of the few coaches in the league who has enough data points to really be talking about trends and stuff. And one trend that's going on is Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks or first year starter quarterbacks, whatever. He kills them, and we got a team right now that the Colts don't look very good. I mean, I know you said their backs against the wall and stuff, but it's just like at this point, what can you do?
They're not good. No, I don't think they look good either.
Beat to a pulp. And I don't know, this Colts team, like when you let a team like the Commies do what they did to you last year, just head top you to. It's just like, come on now. I'm not messing with them. Let me give Bill Belichick a team that. They're going to blitz this young quarterback. They call him a running quarterback, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything of it. It sounds like I didn't watch anything, but from what the announcers were saying, he was like Big Ben in college, and now he's looking like.
No, he was not. Sam Ehlinger.
They said he lost like 30 pounds. So I'm like,
whoa, what?
Actually,
I'm not going to do it. I know P is ready to go to the next game. I'm not even going to do it. But Sam Ehlinger, Texas, 4-year starter at Texas. Brother died as the day before he got drafted. The guy has a story.
Let's Salman talk to me. Come on.
White B-Rob, I gotta fade it.
The guy plays with a chip on the shoulder. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's a love for me with the Patriots here. And just it's like go Panthers in the background, but I'm not messing with that other game.
All right, Salman, who you catching points with here? I forgot what the games were.
Bengals and the Patriots, Panthers and the Colts. Personally, I like both the home teams here. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course I do. Right. Bengals got embarrassed. I'm of the same mindset as you, Rome. Panthers can't keep, defeating these trends. And Patriots, Colts. It's a vintage game. Bill Belichick. And I'm just not. I watched all 60 minutes of Sam last week. I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So. I don't know, man. Like I like both teams. Can I say I don't want either. Like I like both teams at home to cover. Like I
that's
like
fair. Like, just for time.
There it
sake,
is.
fair,
For sure.
bro.
Let's do that.
We can't even deep dive no games no more because our listeners don't want to listen no longer than 45-minute pods. So here we are. Next game.
I mean, we're talking about people dying, they're like losing 30 pounds.
I was giving you the story, man. I gave the
I'm
story.
like, come
That doesn't mean
bro.
anything because he sucked last week. Like that has nothing to do with anything. He sucked last week, bro.
I just
Like,
give you the background, baby. That's all.
playing the commies. Like, come on, bro.
All right. Anyway, potential best bet of mine. The commies are catching 3 here against the Vikings. I think it's a very good spot for the commies. Keep it short and sweet. I mean, the Vikings have pretty much kind of been skating by as far as like what their their performances is. I think Dalvin Cook, the under on his rushing yards, is a good prop as well. But I think that the commies are going to come out here strong. I mean, how about this for morale? We know that possibly the sale of the team is coming soon. All of that. Chase Young returning. So I mean, it's a lot of good vibes in the building. But Ron Rivera, 23-16-1 against the spread in the month of November. I also sent out, I believe he's 24-9 against the spread after a win as an outright dog. This is kind of his favorite position to be in. Kirk Cousins coming back to Washington kind of throws off his, just mental robot state. So I like the commies here plus the points. But yeah, Ron, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, if we take a step back, obviously we're entrenched in this and we always have these look backs up towards the end of the year. And we're like, damn, they did do this, that, and the third. And, this is one of those little spots where one of the worst teams in pro football, talked about early on in the season, right? Commanders can't get anything going. Offensive line is sorry. Defense isn't the defense. No, this team is what? They've won, 2 in a row now? 3 in a row. 3 in a row. So this is very reminiscent of that 2019 team where they just got on that streak and you didn't realize it until they had won 4 or 5 in a row or 4 out of 6 or whatever it was. They're doing it right now. They've already begun that. And so I think here catching a flat 3 at home, I think they're in a good position to do that again. But it's the Commanders. It's the Commanders. And I know a lot of people, listening to this are from the DMV area and have those, bad thoughts and bad memories of the Commanders. But the line is 3. The line is funny. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think your Commanders might be in a prime position here to play ball here and cover this 3 at home. I think if you're playing the Commanders, though, you are expecting them to win this game outright, which I do not. And this is just a stay away from me.
Thanks, Van. Talk to me, Sal, man. What do you think?
All right. I think we peaked too early. Let's say that to say I've been riding with the Vikings all year. I've been picking them in spots, obviously, but they only lost 1 game here, or maybe 2. I don't know. Top of the NFC North. And I think they continue to ride here. I don't think, Kirk Cousins at 1 o'clock, right? This is his old domain. He's played here before. Obviously, the home fans will not be there. We know we don't pack out the stadium. There's going to be some skull chants in there. Flat 3, like Rome said, man. Commies, I feel like it's going to be a push. I feel like it will be a 3-point game. Like, don't even touch the game here. But they're not winning this game, man. 3 in a row. Yes, your Ron Rivera stats are true. You know what I'm saying? The month of November and December is upon us. But I think we've peaked too early. Chase not here this week. He'll be here next week or something like that. There's no time for this right now. Justin Jefferson, who's going to check this man? Get on track. TJ Hawkinson's here now. Get some more pass catchers for this guy. Dalvin Cook's finding his stride as well. Who's going to stop these guys for the Commanders? These are the Commanders. No way in hell. You said this last week. This is Salman shit. No way that they can do this. This is what I say often. No way in hell the Commanders are winning 4 in a row. We're not doing this.
Is that a like on the Vikings?
Yeah, on my sheet is a like for the Vikings for sure. But I'm not.
Chicken sandwich. Let me get the commie.
No, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. That'll hurt my heart, man. I can't.
All right, respect. Keys, you got any thoughts on this game?
Honestly, no. It's rare for me. I had to lean with the commies. I didn't know why. It was literally all fields, to be honest. It's one of these times where I take a step back and say, wow, it's basketball season, because this is the popcorn game of the year. It's like Game of Thrones in Washington. The king is dead. You got Kirk Cousins coming back. I think this is his first game back in Washington. Like
second.
He got one more. Did he play?
Yeah, 2019. He won. They won.
Damn. In Washington?
in Washington. Didn't throw a touchdown though, for what it's worth.
On his
So,
on his head top. Okay. Maybe Mike bounce back. But yeah, no, slightly in Washington, basically stay away. Like, why is this the popcorn game type thing?
You know what? The more I think about this game, the Vikings, man. I mean, a lot of people think the Vikings are fake, and they're not.
they're not.
They're not who their record says they are to be. And then, you can couple that with, okay, people said that about the Giants. I think the Giants are more real than the Vikings are, although the Vikings are going to win the NFC North. I just think that the Vikings have just kind of been getting over. And now that I kind of look at this game, they went down to Miami. What was that, 3.5? What was that line? They cover that. And then now they go on the road. Now it's 3. So are the Commanders better than Miami?
No doubt. I agree. I like them here. I think it's a good spot.
I mean, the more we kind of say it gotta be, it doesn't have to be, but I would lean Commanders here. Just thinking, Vikings went to Miami and laid 3.5. Vikings go to Washington, they're laying 3. Is Washington better than Miami?
There we go. Rome. I think, listen, I just got to do a few more ins and outs, but it's definitely a good play. Possible best bet for me.
Let's look into that a little bit more as the weekend goes and just check out the Discord and just see if we drop that. But that might be one right there.
No doubt. All right, a few games left. Couple home teams laying points. Got the Cardinals -2 against the Seahawks, total of 49.5. Seahawks 13-8-1 against the spread as a road dog since 2018. Cardinals 5-11 against the spread as a home fave under Kingsbury. And then the Bucks are laying 3 at home against the Rams, total of 43. Which home team is covering this week, Rome?
Cardinals. Seahawks are in first place. And the Cardinals, while they haven't looked good really anywhere recently, they have looked a little bit better with DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup. Kyler Murray looks like he has a little, instead of tucking the ball and taking off, now he's tucking the ball and still looking like, okay, wait, is DeAndre down there somewhere? So, that little added level of opportunity for that Cardinals offense is huge. Not sure what the deal is on the backfield situation with Connor and whatnot, but, Seahawks are in first place in the NFC West, and they're catching points on the road here. I think that's something important to watch out for. I know we didn't fall for it against the Jags with the Giants catching the 3. We were all over the Giants there, but there is something to be said about teams with, better records going and catching points. And so, we saw the Giants do it against the Jags and they covered. Then they came back next week, and we just saw last week what happened when they went up there to Seattle. They got their ass whooped. So, just teams that are catching points when they are a better record, as the Seahawks are, just be very hesitant of doing that. I can see, that whole thing falling apart down there in the desert. Geno has his first off day. Geno kind of looks like, kind of has some type of regression. And, Murray kind of shows some flashes. So I would be more inclined to lay with the Cardinals there than I would Bucks. Bucks are just fighting. They're lucky they're in the NFC South.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want either. I mean, none of these are going to be in play for me, really. But I think I would lean with the Bucks, considering that they desperately need a win. I mean, the Cardinals, I think they could just really be a bad team this year. It might just be one of those years. But yeah, like I said, I'm not putting money on either of these. Maybe some props later. But Soundman, which home team covers the spread this week?
Like Rome, I like the Cards here. I'm starting off by saying I'm very tired of the Bucks and I'm very tired of the Rams. I got nothing for that game at all.
I'm tired of the Rams altogether.
Yeah, I'm tired of them. Another thing Rome said when we were talking about the Vikings, he said that they're not for real and the Giants are more for real than them. I don't think the Giants are more real than the Vikings. I think the Giants, they've had their run. We saw their flaws in Seattle last week. So,
we saw their flaws after they went to London. They came home, then they flew down to Jacksonville, then they flew back to New York, then they flew to Seattle. They were due to lose. All that travel on the Giants over those 3 weeks, that was a situational spot. So that don't get conflicted with what you saw on Sunday as like that's the Giants. That was a travel spot, and I saw that all the way.
I'll be happy to have this conversation with you in Week 18 of the NFL season. But I say that to say I don't think the Giants are that real. And I say that because, the Seahawks are here. They got 3 wins in a row against these Cardinals. Yes, P, I do agree. I think the Cardinals might be a bad team, but just like the Bucks, I think they're hungry for a win as well. They're 3-5, they stink. Their division is all flying around. It's a 2-point game here. Beat the Seahawks at home. They won 3 straight. Like just end the win
14
streak.
days ago.
Who's that?
The Cardinals.
Still 3-5. Like they stink. So like end this win streak here. This team's coming on the road here. I got nothing for the Bucks at home with the Rams. Give me the Cardinals out of the 2.
I wish I had something to say all 3-5 teams don't stink, but I don't got the numbers in front of me. But God damn it. I mean, yeah, they're 3-5, and they might be 4-5 next week.
Listen, I like the Cardinals as a whole, but they stink.
All right, Keys, which home team covers here? Bucks or Cards?
I hate when I keep doing this, but if I had to pick one, it's definitely the Bucks. But it's because it's a love for the Seahawks for me in this situation. I mean,
Okay.
I don't at this stage of the season. I'm not psyched. I'm trying to psych myself out. We just saw these teams that played 2 weeks ago. The Cardinals didn't even get a touchdown, not one singular touchdown. It was a game in which I think it was like the first bad game, not bad, but
Take a sandwich bet. I'll take the Cardinals.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I can fade that. I probably with Geno for one more year. This time it's actually Geno and not PJ Walker. But yeah, like it's a life for the Seahawks to me. And when I think about this game, I'm thinking about a Seahawks team, like how Rome said that people not believing in the Vikings. I think that's what people are like. I think that's the sentiment towards the Seahawks. Most people are like, it's funny that they're doing, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of where people are. People aren't completely believers in Geno, who's been, playing well all season, like in this November now, about to be Thanksgiving. That's about to be the whole season, and then you're going to turn up and say, oh, he had a good season, But
I think he does have a good season. We're talking about 1 week, 1 game. And everything you just said just affirms as to why I really like the Cardinals here. Look ahead was 3.5. And we talk about what we saw from the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I saw the Seahawks jumping all over the Giants in that game. So to see that this line opened or was looking ahead at 3.5 and came down to 2 now, it makes me like it even more. And how about this? I love the fact these teams have already played. I love the fact the Cardinals have already lost. Explain to me why they're laying that at home against a team that's number 1 in their division. Give me the Cardinals. Really like it now. Really like the Cardinals.
No doubt. I think as I'm looking at this, I think this may be one of those games that we got to just look up, right? How do they, like how the 49ers dominate the Rams. Maybe I feel like this might be one of those. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but perhaps
they split last year.
That's that we do have on them. The Seahawks 8-11-2 against the spread in the division since 2019. They're
so that's a throw out, right?
5-11 as a home favorite last 16 years. You can throw that
that's not a throw out. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm saying. So some stuff that we have about the Seahawks: 13-8-1 against the spread as a road dog since 2018. That's a stat that I like.
No doubt.
I don't want to nitpick, but that's a completely
different Seahawks. My last point that I was going to make on why I like the Seahawks so much, their defense specifically has been playing much, much better over the last month.
They have.
If you look at all the games that they played, off the top of my head, I think they've only given up like 23 points. And that was when they played the Chargers. That was like the highest one over the last month, something like that.
I'm sorry. It keeps going back to they played the Giants, and the Giants it was clearly not going to show up and perform well last week. So I think, this is why I really like the Cardinals. It's just like, I really like the Cardinals. Yeah. Because, come on, man. They already beat them. The Seahawks already beat them. This isn't like when New York was going down to Jacksonville and catching points. These teams have already played. And they won, and they have a better record, and they're still dogs. Hell no, I'm not taking them 2 points.
All right, there you go. Chicken sandwich bet on that. All right, anybody got anything for Chiefs Titans? I lean with the Titans plus the 12.5. I don't really.
Same.
That is going to be one ugly game. Totals at 45. Don't be surprised if you look up and you're like, why can't the Chiefs score this week? I don't know. These two teams, they're almost opposites offensively in terms of what they want to do. Chiefs are the best team in football right now. Convince me otherwise. You could go Bills and whatever, Eagles. But, I'm just going to always ride with the best quarterback in football. But I think here is a letdown spot in a game that used to be a big game. And obviously, as we see, the spread is 12.5. In recent past years, just to give you an understanding of how lopsided and how bad the Titans are this year, this line last year, this was a 3.5 line. So to see this line at 12.5 this year, and to know that the Chiefs, some people don't think the Chiefs are real. Some people don't think they're as good as they have been in the past. Well, this line says otherwise. These teams have played in past years, same type of players. Only guys missing is really, the Tyrann Mathieu and the Tyreek Hills, and then somehow this line goes up nine more points in margin. So I would just be hesitant. The Titans suck, and I don't think anyone has really gotten an opportunity to see how bad they actually are, other than when they played against Buffalo. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. I could see Chiefs covering this 12, and it's still going under. So that's how bad I think it is. No more Ryan Tannehill, remember?
Yeah, no doubt. I got nothing for that game, though.
Malik Willis could really stink it up.
I'm not going to bet that at all. But, all right, the Raiders are at the Jaguars. Raiders laying a 1.5. Stay away from me. Keish, you got anything?
This is actually a really interesting game.
No, I only have one question. It's just like, why are we favorite on the road when we lose?
How about this? This is the same similar line that it was in New Orleans last weekend.
Yeah, we didn't score a point.
We were sitting here 7 days ago, and we were like, why are the Raiders favored in New Orleans? And then we talked through it, and then I ended up playing Saints as one of my best bets. So I think this is one of those instances where the Raiders actually can get it done on the road. Some syndicates, for the listeners, syndicates are like groups of bettors that bet large amounts of money on games. Some syndicates out there really like the Jaguars. I don't know why. I think this might be a spot for the Raiders to finally get it done on the road. So I'll lean Raiders.
All right, Sal, man, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here with the Raiders as well. I said it the last time I was on here. There's teams that are notoriously bad, and they're still the Jaguars here. I mean, they're still trying to fire sell players and shit like that. We know they play better at home, but the Raiders stink as well. But I think the Raiders are definitely better. Sorry, Keith. Than these Jags. So give me the Raiders here. Just beat the Jags, man. The hell. Get a field goal and beat the Jags. Like, it's that simple.
And I've also noticed that 1.5 covers at home this year as opposed to on the road, whatever that means.
All right, let's get out of here. Tease me picks, 6-point teasers, 2 teams. Really, this one I really haven't even looked at. Salman, you got anything for me?
I do. Like the Falcons +9. And give me the Bengals at a pick 'em.
Love it. And I'm right behind you on the Bengals. I know I usually don't do teasers, but
excuse me, that'll be 1. I'm sorry, that'll be 1 -1.
Yeah. I would tease the Bengals down from 7 down to basically a pick 'em at half point. So it'd be Bengals, and I would tease the commies up.
Keish, what you got for me? 6-point teaser.
Yeesh, the teaser's not playing fair this week. Let me tease the Seahawks up to +8.
Wow, you don't need
it. He believes.
Because I love it so much. I'm just going to pick my 2 best bets. I'm going to tease the Patriots.
That always goes right. Right? Don't that always work? Using your best bets as your teasers. Yeah.
No, this is honestly a week that I probably would want to tease some of these. I like some of the totals more, but I just don't have the numbers in front of me right now. Maybe in the Discord.
All right, for me, I'm actually going to go Chicago +10.5. And then I'm also going to take Buffalo -5.5. So
I thought about that.
The contradiction is that, though. This is my best bet, but actually, I'll take 7 more points on this. I just thought about it. That's actually kind of funny. Best bet, Ryan. Let's go.
Speaking of best bets, so Keith, what's your best bet this week?
I'm going with the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Okay. It's officially 2 best bets: Seahawks and the Patriots. Ron, what do you got for me? Detroit
best bet, Lions 3.5.
All right, my best bet is actually we did not go over the game.
What?
It's only 1 game we didn't go over.
The Ravens Saints, but why not?
No, I got you. Take it easy, but I keep that for the Discord. But I got a best bet for this pod, and it is the Atlanta Falcons +3 points. I'm going to take them to ride out. Soundman, what do you got for me? Soundman Spectre.
We didn't talk about this game, by the way. It was the first game we talked about.
I don't have a Soundman special, man. I know a dog is gonna win. I just don't have it today, man. My heart of hearts after my whole soliloquy as well.
Put him down
But-
for the commies, man. Put him down.
my heart of hearts, after my whole Viking soliloquy, man, I can see it happening, but I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it right now, man.
Yeah, give me the +3 on Washington as well. So 2 best bets for me on this podcast, but not my my biggest play. I'll get into my biggest play right after this. All right, so appreciate y'all guys. Week 9. No, Rome, what do you? We out of here, baby. I already gave all my best bets for this pod.
Oh, okay.
I got a Monday pod, baby. I got a Monday pod.
Oh,